certified pet professional, Amy Lee. The only difference between you and your groomer is knowledge, technique, and tools. It is absolutely my pleasure to share with you the secrets of the grooming industry. So stay put as we get started on this journey together today. Thank you for joining me live from the grooming table. I am Amy Lee, certified professional pet groomer since 2003. But more importantly, I am your go-to groomer on the web, and it is absolutely my pleasure to share with you the secrets of the grooming industry so you can provide quality care for your beloved pets at home. Thank you all for being here tonight. We are better together. We do wonderful things. What are we doing tonight? I see our chat's lively. Oh, God, you guys get me all wound up. You know that. Okay. Well, tonight, let me give you a little rundown real quick. This is your food for thought, so get those wheels turning. We got stuff to talk about. Groomers have been closed for 6 weeks or more, 8 weeks more like it. We're going to talk about that. Why dog groomers are opening again after shutdown orders. Why are they? Because dogs need grooming. Many pet owners have been forced to care for their beloved pets at home, all their grooming needs during the COVID-19. Not an easy task for somebody who's not accustomed to that and doesn't know how to approach the job. Very difficult. Why dog groomers are opening up again after shutdown orders, how I feel about that as a professional groomer, and how you pet owners feel about that for your pets, that these groomers are now opening up again. Not all dog groomers are open for business yet, but hopefully by June of 2019, we should see them all up and running again. That's what, fingers crossed, that's what we're hoping, okay? My grooming salon was closed from March 23rd until May 4th. That's 6 weeks. So that's a little shy of what a lot of other people have done. Dogs can't brush their own hair or trim their own nails, and they certainly cannot clip their own hair. So why were pet groomers ordered to remain closed until further notice? Let's say farmers that have milking cows. The cows can't milk themselves, so the farmers were not ordered to discontinue operations on their dairy farms, and nor should they have been. And what about chicken farmers or pig farmers? They were all not ordered to stop providing the care required for the animals that they raise on their farms. But in my opinion, dog skin and coat is just as essential as any other agricultural animal. All domesticated animals require humans to maintain their health and skin and coat. The skin and coat falls into that category. So does grooming. Groomers fall into that category. I'm not sure why we had to be shut down, considering, you know, other agricultural animals were able to continue, the care that was provided for them was able to continue on. So I just think there's a lot of gray area with this shutdown to begin with. I realized that the virus was spreading rapidly, and we all needed to do our part to slow that spread, and I think we did. I really do, and I feel like closing my business for 6 weeks definitely did my part to try to continue to slow that spread. At least I hope so. I wanted to talk a little further. I'm trying to set the pace for our discussion tonight because I really want your feelings on this. I want us all to talk about it, okay? How do pet owners feel about the groomers having to close for business during COVID-19, the stay-at-home order? How do pet owners feel about that? Let's get chatty. Let's talk about that tonight and just share our feelings. I chose to start my business up again on May 4th because I needed to. And it was just really stressing me out to think how I was ever going to dig out of this hole with these dogs. And not just grooming them. If I could just be down here grooming the dogs, I could catch up pretty good. But we're talking about maintaining the schedule, getting back to people, the phone calls, the phone tag, trying to get these dogs scheduled again, find days that work. So I've got messages out to everybody. It's just been really hectic. So I think we can all feel pretty good about doing our part by staying in for 6 to 8 weeks, and I think it's time now that we have to get back to life, and especially taking care of these dogs. We have to do it. It's time. I want to know how you guys feel about that tonight. We are doing such wonderful things together on this channel, guys. I'm so happy. Now, don't forget, if you have a question, especially that you would like me to see, don't forget to put a big dotted line just like that before it, so I can quickly get a look and be able to answer it. Now, let me go back here and just see. I want to say hi to you all. I wish I could say hi to all 73 of you individually, but it would take a lot of time. I love you guys, and I'm very glad that you're here. We're doing wonderful things. We're better together. We know that, and we are sharing wonderful information that's benefiting pets all across the world, right here together, live from the grooming table. So just scrolling here for a second. I'm going to see if anybody has anything. I see, hi Terry, I see you said, hello everyone, happy Monday, and happy Monday it is. Carol says, is a 7-blade good to use on a severely matted Goldendoodle? Yes. Yes, it is, Carol. And I hear you say severely matted, so I know you're talking, this is pretty tight to the skin. Oftentimes you may have to go to a 10-blade, but I try to avoid that for many reasons. The 7-blade has just a little bit of a tooth to the blade versus the 10-blade doesn't. So that 7-blade can work itself between the mat and the skin, but you have to wiggle it through with your clipper. It's a little bit of a learning curve there to grooming a matted dog. It's not easy. So if you're having to do this, Carol, it is a big job. Keep your cool, take breaks. Don't forget to use your slicker brush. Use that slicker brush to loosen up any severely matted areas that the 7 will not go under the mat. But you can loosen it up with a slicker brush. You can loosen that mat up, and that will allow your 7-blade to escape right between the mat and the skin. So don't forget to use those slicker brushes on those heavily matted areas where your clipper won't get through. You may be inclined to go for a 10-blade at that point, which I don't care to use a 10-blade, but a 10-blade is going to have trouble with it too, because it really doesn't have any teeth to push through and under the mat, if that makes any sense. So I hope it does. But yes, Carol, I would use a 7, not a skip tooth, but I would use a 7-blade if I was clipping down a very matted Goldendoodle or any very matted dog. Terry says, hi Amy, do you think you'll ever do a demo on doing a Westies head? Oh, I sure do, which is my most difficult part of a groom. Westie head is fun, so get ready when we go to do that. In fact, I have a Westie coming in tomorrow, and I'm hoping to film with him. And I say hoping because it's hard for me to film with a very hard booked schedule, and I'm pretty booked tomorrow. But why it would be really cool to film him is because he's overdue for a groom. So that would really show the transformation. So hang in there, Terry. I'm planning to film Teddy tomorrow because everybody's been asking for Westie. He's a cute little Westie. He's only 2. He's good to work with. He's pretty. He's a little antsy, but that's typical for a terrier. So yep, stay tuned, Terry. I plan to go into great detail about how I do the Westie head. And like I said, there's breed standard trims. Westie is a breed standard trim. It's specific to the Westie. There's a rhyme and reason to why we do it. But also, sometimes groomers add their own little way of achieving that look. You know, one groomer may do this, and I like to use thinning shears a lot. That's just my thing. So anyway, stay tuned. It's coming. I have one on the schedule tomorrow, a little Westie, and I'm hoping that we're going to get some good filming out of that. First timer, hi Crystal, this is great. Bernice Mountain Dog owner, good. Then you know all about double coats, right? Nicole said they never closed grooming in South Carolina. We've been open, but with strict social distancing and sanitation practices in place. That's wonderful. And yet you have to. That's about as best as we can do. I think it's pretty hard to escape a virus that is as fast spreading as the coronavirus. But I think, us wearing masks and social distancing, and we all practice that. We've all done very well, and I think we can all say that we have done a good job with slowing the spread. So we can feel good about that. All of us, everybody. In Pennsylvania, all non-essential businesses were ordered to close. So I'm glad to hear a little feedback there, Nicole, because I know every state, it's up to their governor if they're going to close, or for how long, or what the stipulations are for reopening. It was pretty vague here in Pennsylvania as far as what the stipulations were and what businesses could be open. Pet groomers weren't on the list either way. So I decided, then I think I'm pretty safe. I'm opening up. I was a little nervous. I felt a little nervous about, my parents are in their 70s and I spend a little time with them. Now I haven't been able to spend as much time with them, especially the first, I'd say 5-6 weeks of this coronavirus. I didn't see my parents much at all unless it was outside. So it was a little rough on everybody, but it was the right thing to do. So now we're all starting to lighten up a little bit on that. But that is always my concern, is given to somebody who may not be able to fight it off, or it might do further damage. So when I opened on Monday, I was a bit nervous. I guess I still am a little bit, but I'm feeling pretty confident. It's good to see all my clients again. And they've all been healthy. Nobody has told me that they have gotten sick. That's good to hear. I was really glad to hear. It's a lot of people. So, yeah, I just have mixed feelings about this corona thing, all in all. So, but we're getting back to normal again. Let me see if anybody has another question here. So, as I don't want to get too behind in all that. All right, I got the Westie questions. I'm excited to groom that Westie. I enjoy grooming Westies a lot. Okay, Sue. Hi, Sue. She says, my blade man individually owned just quit for good because of the virus. His wife has several health issues, but I hate it. He was really good at what he did. So he's afraid of contaminating his wife. And he was forced to quit his job, his business that he built. And he sounds like he was very good at it. A lot of people, I think, are in that situation, and that is so scary and so sad that this has turned lives upside down, businesses upside down. Restaurants around here still are not open unless it's for takeout, and they're not making the same money unless it's a pizza place, where they usually do takeout. But it's just, oh God, it's just tearing this economy apart. This is terrible, but we got to take care of each other. Hi, Nia. There's a question there. Says, how do you know how much hair should be in your dog's ears? My Westapoo has hair in his ears. He's got a terrier style ear, so he probably has a prick ear. And it's visible, but not a ton. Okay. When you're plucking the hair inside of a dog's ear, you don't have to get everything out, but you only pluck what's inside of the ear, not on the earlobe, not around it, just in the ear. And you don't have to get all of it. You're just trying to open that up a little bit and not leave an area for a bunch of debris to collect. Because if your dog does have a large production of ear debris, the dark stuff, and they have a lot of hair in their ear, like maybe it's even packed in there, that debris will cake within that hair real tight, and it can't like slough out, and it'll sit right in their ear canal, and it'll just cause irritation because it starts to anytime, like today I had a Yorkie, not Lilu, I had a Yorkie before Lilu, and he has bad eye debris, very bad eye buildup. And when it comes out in the tub, because I have to soak it for about 10 minutes in the tub before I can gently remove it with a flea comb and slough it off, it's raw. I mean, the hair is raw. It is raw. Well, that's what happens inside of the ear canal if all that messy stuff that's dirty sitting on that tender skin inside of their ear, it will highly inflame it. May not be an infection, but it's painful to them and irritated and sore and itchy. That's why we pluck the ears. You don't have to pluck every single hair out of there. You can leave a little bit. It's okay. In fact, it's fine to leave a little bit. It gives the debris something to cling to so that you can remove it when you remove the hair. So don't get overboard about removing that, okay? But that's a great question. Diane says, I think it depends on the region. Some areas are doing well. Some are still increasing the incidences. I know. Kids are still not in school. They're not going back. I hope they're going back in the fall. Our college students, my son is in Penn State. He had to finish up online. So did his girlfriend. They had to finish all their classes online, which was not an easy task because these weren't online classes. It was very brutal for him the last semester, but he got through it. I'm hoping come fall he can be back on campus because that's where they learn. You know, they're not learning the same thing in this virtual stuff. They're not getting in their groups and their labs and all that. It's just really important. So I don't know. All the different areas have different rules and stuff that are going on. But I want to hear how you guys feel about your groomers being shut down. Do you think that did harm to your dogs? Like, did you notice that not only did they become overgrown with coat, that maybe they started to suffer from allergies because they did have so much coat and you're not sure how to properly remove that undercoat or dead coat? So do you notice they're more itchy, or do you notice that the debris and stuff that builds up in their eyes and their mouth or their ears, has it built up so much that it's causing irritation, that it's causing health problems, and same with their bum. That has to be cleaned up and trimmed away too in order to keep them healthy back there and not sore. So what do you guys feel about the groomers being closed? I mean, I know we were all concerned about not sharing the COVID virus, that's for sure. So what are people to do? I just don't know. Thank you, Tracy. She loves watching my YouTube. I appreciate that. I am so happy that you guys find value in my videos. Nancy says, I'm having a hard time getting the sun guard. Even Amazon is out of stock. Good. I'm going to talk about that. Is there another product that you recommend? I'm in Canada. Well, if it's just that you're having trouble getting it because you're in Canada, Nancy, there are a lot of other good conditioners. I like the Coat Handler undercoat control. It's real lightweight. I like that one. It's easy to brush through and demat and to de-shed dogs. Tropiclean makes some really good ones. I'm using the Comfort conditioner right now by Tropiclean in my shop just because it's kind of technically allergy season around here. And I think the Comfort is a really good overall conditioner. Plus it's lightweight. It doesn't weigh down the coat. That's why I like it. And it just adds a little moisture balance back into the skin and coat. Tropiclean makes several decent conditioners. Most of them I would recommend. They also make a really good OxyMed. It's called Medicated. They have a shampoo and a conditioner. That is really nice, really nice. Tropiclean makes that. They also have a demat conditioner. I like that too. So I'm thinking, I'm glad you brought this up. You said you're having a hard time getting it. My Wall KM10, my little buddy back here, we all know him. He's hanging there. He's so proud. He works hard. Well, listen up. I'm constantly messing up that cord. Like I step on it and it doesn't want to work right. Well, it's electronic, it can't handle that kind of abuse. So it happened again to me just the end of last week where my cord was shorting out. So I had to like twist it in a certain way and hold it there, which was very awkward. And it would work then. So it was a short and then I could work. But I also use a hair vac system on my clipper, which really made that all a very cumbersome thing to do. But fortunately, my brother, we were at my mom's last night, my brother can fix anything. He's a machinist and a tool and die guy is what he is. But he took my clipper apart, he fixed it, and it worked. It ran like a champ today. I was like, thanks, John. I was so happy. So the reason I'm telling you guys this is because right away when I started having trouble, I know my second clipper is an Andis 2-speed, and it's a good one. I don't prefer to use it, but it's fine. It's just as powerful as that. But it doesn't have the head on it for my Hand-V hair vac system, which means I can't clip with the Hand-V system if I'm using my backup clipper, which is my Andis 2-speed. And I really love the way the Hand-V really enhances my clipper work. It looks great. And I've gotten very accustomed to using it and accustomed to liking the way it looks. You know, my clipper work, I love the way it looks with the Hand-V system. So I thought, you know, it's time that I just get another Wall KM10. And I can take this head off of this one, put it on my new one, and then I can send the new head to Hand-V because they have to put this head on for it to work. Well, why am I showing you like that? Let's show you like this. They have to put this on. See, it was like, I don't know, it's on there permanently. I had to send this clipper to them. Well, I can't, clippers come apart, obviously. I can take this head unit off and just send that to them and have them put this on for my second backup clipper. Well, guess what? Of course, all the Wall KM10s are back ordered and not in stock, and it's not known when they will be in stock. So yeah, that's one thing that the Stay-at-Home Act has done for us groomers and for you people at home. Nobody can get what they need because nobody prepared for clippers and clipper blades and snap-on combs to be flying off the shelves like they have been. And that goes for shampoos and conditioners too. A lot of things have been hard to get. So Nancy, that could be why you're having trouble getting it, because nobody has it in stock. And now you can go directly to Nature Specialty. They have a website. Try that, Nancy, and see if they'll ship to Canada. I don't see why they wouldn't. But I do love the SunGuard, guys. That is my favorite conditioner across the board. Absolutely. So Joyce says, hi Amy, I would like to buy a double-sided slicker brush like yours. What kind is it? Love you. Love you too, Joyce. Probably you're talking about something like this. This particular one is an this is a Le Pouche. You can buy Le Pouche brushes online at, I better spell that in the chat because it's not spelled the way it sounds. It's Les Pouches. That's how it's spelled. And that's what this is. ActiVet also has a patent on these type of brushes. The ActiVet brushes are just as good. There are some knockoff brands that are not just as good. They don't even pull the dead coat out the way it's supposed to. These are designed to do what they're designed to do. It has a lot to do with the way the bristles are put together, has a lot to do with how flexible the head is. Some of the ActiVet brushes are more flexible than other models of the ActiVet brushes and the Le Pouche. So it's ActiVet, and they have a website, ActiVet brushes and Le Pouche brushes, Joyce. You used to be able to find them pretty plentiful on Amazon, but now it's hard to find anything on Amazon. I'm finding that. So I suggest maybe you might have to go directly to the websites of the manufacturers, LePouche.com or ActiVet, which is also has the Groomer's Helper. I think if you go to Groomer's Helper website, the ActiVet brushes are there. So that's the ones. They're wonderful. I love them. They're easy to use, especially on, getting into harder areas. They're good for dematting because they're just not a cumbersome brush. Obviously I really like that Kenchi brush because it covers so much more ground and it really pulls the dead hair out. It behaves differently. But it's also, some people may find it awkward to work with. So That's something to think about. What do you think would work best for you? What trimmer did you say you use on the feet and the pads? You can use any inexpensive. I have one here. This is a little Oster. Looks like the battery's dead. But this guy, you see how tiny it is? So it's very comfortable and easy to get in those pads, and you use it in a V shape. I have videos on my channel if you guys aren't sure how to clip in the pads of the feet. Also, my playlist is linked in the description of this video. That is, well, a playlist of videos that should help you with any issue you may be having about grooming at home, whether that's nails, ears, full haircuts, scissor trimming, or trimming pads, sanitary. It's all in that playlist, guys. So don't forget to refer to those videos in the playlist link below that can help you understand how to use any of those tools and what methods to use to get it done. But any little clipper like that, you can get them at Walmart. Now, it's not a person clipper. You get it in the pet aisle. It is made for a pet's paw pads. You can also get them on Amazon. Just type in pet paw trimmer. And that's only for pads of feet. That is a 30 blade, and it's way too short to use in the sanitary, around the privates, around the anus. It would really irritate, so you don't want to use it there. Okay, guys? Janice says, hi, Amy. I'm a licensed massage therapist by trade, but I'm trying my hand at learning to groom my 5 dogs. Boy, you're going to have your hands full. What is the easiest way to clean the slicker brushes? The easiest way is with hot water. So what I do is I take my combs. Let me get one. I get all the dead hair out like this with the comb. And then all the hair flies around your shop. And then I lay them on my platform in my sink. And I give them a good shot of hot water, scalding hot water. I turn the cold water off, scalding hot water, and then let it sit, and I'll give it another one. I don't recommend any bleach on your brushes unless you find that you were working with a dog that had some pretty questionable skin. I have already sprayed my brushes with Clorox cleanup and then rinsed them out heavily with hot water, just because I felt I needed to do that. But I will say that bleach will eat away at the rubber and all of the, the components of your brush, and it will not last as long. And some of our brushes are quite expensive, and if you take care of them, you will have them for many, many years. Because me, as a professional pet groomer who uses them all the time, I still have brushes here that I'm using that I was using probably 10 years ago. I know I am. Some of these brushes definitely are that old. They don't need to be replaced yet. So it does pay to have good products, because they will work for you. Let me just see here. If there's any questions. Terry says, hi, Amy. Do you think you'll... Oh, I got that one. I'm sorry. Okay. Ever video on a Westies head. Got you. All right. Oh, see, my chat is bouncing around, guys. I'm sorry. Okay, any tips? Here's one from Passionate Herbs. Any tips on how to find a groomer that will just groom my dog's feet? I can do the rest of her, but not the feet yet. She's a rescue. I've had her for almost 3 months. So you're taking care of all her grooming needs. You just need, the pads of the feet shaved and some scissor work. A lot of groomers do not care to just do what you're not willing to do, because oftentimes you didn't do a good enough job anyway for them to finish the job. I don't mean that in a mean way. I mean we're picky about our work. So some groomers may say no, they would not do that. They want to do the full groom because they want to prep the skin and coat as well, because that's part of a good groom. So I can tell you there are groomers that will do it, and they probably will charge you accordingly. Like they have an hourly fee, and they may charge you, probably about $25 for that. Maybe clip the nails, shave the pads, and scissor the feet. So there are groomers that do it. You're just going to have to call and ask who's willing to do that. You will find that some are not, and that's okay. We get to structure our businesses the way it works for us. So some groomers are going to say, yeah, I'll do it, and some will say, no, I won't. So don't get upset. Just try to find one. Just call, around until you find somebody who may be willing to do that for you. Princess Pearl Thumb. Hi, Amy. I want to buy detachable blades to groom my miniature schnauzer. Most of the blades I see are F blades, so like 7F, but not a 7. Will F blades work? Yes. Don't want to buy blades that are the wrong ones. Good question, and I've had a lot of people ask that question, so you're probably going to answer a lot of questions for people in the chat right now. A lot of people say, what does that mean, 7F? This one just says 7. That one says 7FC. Well, the Andis, you'll see the Andis has 7F or 7FC. That stands for 7 finish cut. So they're saying it's a finish cut blade, meaning your dog is clean and now you're going to give a finish cut. That's what they mean when they say that. But it's their choice of what they put on their blade. That's all. They chose to say 7FC, 7 finish cut. And some of them will just say 7F, which means finish blade. So, or it just says 7. The different blade manufacturers, as long as it's the number that matters. Now, the only one you want to be careful of is if you see skip tooth. A skip tooth blade is a different blade than our regular finish blades. It will fit a detachable blade clipper, and it looks awfully similar to a detachable blade. Say you have a 7 and a 7 skip tooth. But the skip tooth is missing every other tooth. The reason I don't recommend it is because it is kind of easy to poke your dog with them unintentionally, and it is kind of easy to catch skin. So I want you guys to know that. I avoid skip tooth blades completely. I don't ever see a need for me to use it. So I want to let you guys know that. Okay, we answered about the paw pads. Yeah, which dogs have a double coat? I have a Bichon and a Poodle. I got a wall and the multi-snap-on, but it didn't come with a 7. No, they don't come with a 7. They come with a wall. You get a wall. Okay, I don't know which wall clipper you got. If it's a detachable blade, it probably comes with a 10 blade. And then you have to buy the snap-on combs or other blades. So which dogs have a double coat? A double coat is okay, picture a golden retriever. If you take a comb and you separate his hair and you're looking, you see top coat. You see guard hairs that are like this long. And then you see this fuzzy layer of woolly coat underneath. That's a double coat. 2 types of coat on the same dog. Each coat type has a purpose. The undercoat of a double coated dog protects the dog from sun, bugs, and all kinds of things, but most importantly, it regulates their body temperature in hot and cold, not just cold. It regulates hot and cold temperatures. So the undercoat's very important, and that's what the top coat does. That long coat that lays over top with the guard hairs, that coat is designed to protect the undercoat so the undercoat can do the job of regulating the dog's body temperature. And that's why I'm always telling you not to shave a double coat, because they need both the top and the undercoat. They both serve a very huge purpose. So how do you tell if your dog has a double coat? Well, first you take a look at what breeds you have. You said you have a poodle and something. What was it? A Bichon and a Poodle. Neither a Bichon or a Poodle is a double coated breed. So there's no way your dog could have a double coat. If he's bred with a Bichon and a Poodle, there's no way. That's one way to determine. You have to see what are the dogs, what are the breeds of the dogs. And if you're ever questioning if your purebred is a double coat, all that information is easily found online, especially if you go to, say, the AKC website, the American Kennel Club website. They have good information about coat types on every individual dog breed, and there's some other wonderful sites that break everything down about each breed, so you can find out the information that you want about your specific dog breed. And I always encourage you guys to do that, because then you understand what type of coat you're dealing with and how to approach it. You know, then maybe you can come back to my videos and you can say, okay, now I know what coat type I have. Now I got to figure out what, you know, read through these videos and find out which one's going to help me, show me how to maintain that coat type. You know, because there should be a video on my channel for just about every coat type. All right, let me just see here. You mentioned eyes. What can you do for a dog whose eyes tear and are goopy? Yeah, the one Yorkie that I groomed today, the first Yorkie I groomed today, has always had this problem. Now, one thing is he's very old. And since he's gotten older, he has a lot of discharge from his ears, from his eyes, even around here. He has a lot of discharge. His teeth are really bad, and he's almost too old to have them cleaned. So it produces a lot of discharge from his eyes. What you can do is wet a cotton ball with warm water and squeeze it down onto that goopy hard stuff and let it soften it up, and then get it another cotton ball with warm water, not cold, and there again squeeze it down on that and let it soften it up. And then you can take either the fine end of a comb like this. See, this is the coarse end, you want the fine end, and you can gently start picking that and sliding that out of the coat gently and patiently, and it will slide right out. Then once you get it out, you don't want it to build up like that again. So what you do is you can just take that warm cotton ball maybe every couple of days and just wipe it out, and it should keep it from accumulating to be so much that it's going to cause irritation, because it will cause irritation. It will become raw. Let's see. How to nail trim very aggressive dog, I think it is. I've tried massaging his paws. Okay, this is from Neha. I hope Neha. Okay. So we got an aggressive dog, or a dog that doesn't like his paws messed with. Okay. Desensitized with clippers by, you know, trying to get him used to the clippers, but actual clipper, he bites, he freaks out, he cries. I'm worried that my groomer might be using a harsh technique. Well, he's very touchy with his feet, it sounds like. So what I usually do, you guys have seen my video on items that will help keep your dog safely on the grooming table. That's kind of how I secure most every dog on my drying table. That's my drying table. This is the finishing table where I do all the clipper work and scissor work. And over on that drying table is where I will do ears, and where I will trim nails and shave pads, because I hook the dogs to the groomer's helper system, which is also has an additional kind of a harness, not a harness, but a lead to keep them close to the grooming arm, so they can't buck and throw themselves around, because some dogs they'll try everything to throw themselves off the table. Unfortunately, they can be that scared that they are willing to throw themselves off the table. So you want to prepare for that and make sure they're safely secured, and they cannot do that. But in harnessing them in a way like that, it encourages better behavior for them usually. I've noticed that. And also it gives them less movement, and they know that. They don't have the opportunity to do all this stuff and get crazy, because they're just more, they're tight, they're a little tightly secured there. Not tight, not like that. I just mean they don't have a lot of room to play. And I think taking that out of the scenario for them makes them behave better. Also, you know, I also always encourage trying to keep your dogs calm, especially when they're afraid, and talk very quietly. Have no distractions in the room, no other people walking in, no other dogs running around. Dogs that are afraid are going to be distracted by everything. So you really want to make sure that the focal point is you and them if you're trying to work through a hard situation with them, because they are already in their mind, they're not willing to do it. So there are ways, and it's work, Neha, and it's training with the dog and you. That is what's going to get you there, and it's probably not going to happen overnight, and don't be discouraged about that. Chris says, my golden retriever has very smelly ears and matted butt. Okay, I got you. He sits well for the groomer, but not so much for me. He is not happy. Okay, so you're having trouble getting him. So, why does this keep jumping around? So brushing through the mats because he wants to sit. Well, you can hold him up with one hand, and not necessarily hold him up, but put pressure on his abdomen right here. And when he starts to want to sit, put pressure and just keep reminding him, no, we're staying up. And usually, eventually, they just give up. They say, all right, she's going to make me do this. With the matting there, Quicker Slicker works great on a double coat like that golden retriever. I know how thick they can get back there in the behind area, very thick. So when you're doing your brush outs, I love to spritz a lot and move the hair and spritz the Quicker Slicker in there. It really helps you to brush out that undercoat that's stuck in the coat, causing it to be kind of matted. So that's what I would do. Hold him up, use Quicker Slicker, and that should help you. Your smelly ears, just clean them more often with a safe dog ear cleaning solution. And that should help, honestly. I mean, as long as he's not got an infection. Shirley says, what was the name of the clippers that you gave away yesterday? I could hear the name. I couldn't hear. Oh, the clippers. I didn't give a clipper away. Saturday, I gave a bathing system away. I gave away an Encore Prima bathing system to our friend Debbie, who is in New Zealand. So Prima, I spoke with Heidi at Prima today, and we exchanged some information. But she also said that they have to get that system ready for the electrical. You know, all the different countries have different electrical requirements. So, and Prima knows how to meet those needs. They just have to know what needs they're meeting. So they had to understand what the electrical, I don't even know what the proper term is, you know, what outlet type thing they're plugging into, because that's how they have to make sure their plug is adequate. It's going to match up to that. So they're getting that Encore system ready to go to New Zealand. I'm so excited. I love it that you guys are going to find out how wonderful all this pet grooming stuff really is and how it benefits your pets. Sue says, do you think using a thinning shear versus a regular shear will eventually take its toll on your thumb since you make more cuts with it? I see what you're saying, Sue. But when I'm thinning, I'm not chomp, chomp, chomp. I'm just kind of, I mean, if you're using a really good thinning shear, it almost does the work for you. And if it's lightweight, it's not too heavy in your hand. I've used cheaper thinning shears that I had to work harder to produce the work I wanted, and I did feel it in my hand and my thumb. But using good shears like the Kenchi is my favorite. The Kenchi Lightning shear, I use this pretty much on every dog. It is so lightweight, and it doesn't fatigue my hand and my thumbs. It is, honestly, I don't know how much it weighs. It's very light. And the Jody Murphy shears are very light too, and they're some of my favorites. So once you find your favorites that work good with you and don't hurt your hand and don't, you know, then it's really not that big of a deal, Sue, versus a straight shear. So I would say weight is the issue, quality of the shear. If it's a good quality and it's lightweight, like that Kenchi Lightning shear, you would love it. It doesn't bother me at all. I use it every day, all the time on every dog. Honest to God, I do. Okay, so let's see. Princess Pearl Thumb says, hi, Amy. I'm sorry, I already answered that. My chat jumps around. Okay, Andrew. Hi, Andrew from the UK. How's Andrew doing? Andrew says, I'm still stuck at home. As a home visiting groomer, I have no idea if or when I can work again. Oh, I know, it sucks so bad. We are just starting now to be allowed out more than once a day here in the UK. Yeah, so strict social distancing applies. I don't know how they expect people to survive without being able to work, and I don't even understand how we can be forced to not work. I think that, I mean, as a United States citizen, I can tell you this: we have a constitution and a constitutional rights, and we have a constitutional right to work. So I just don't understand how government can tell us that we can't. I mean, I realize pandemics are a problem, but I think it really boils down to people needing to shelter themselves if necessary. I mean, honestly, if I'm a pretty healthy person, don't have a lot of problems, and sometimes we don't know we have problems, and I would get a flu or a virus, I'm going to get sick, but I'll snap out of it. Somebody else may not, that has a little bit of a heart condition, or maybe has a lung problem or diabetes or anything. I mean, there's so many factors that if you throw in a big virus on top of it, your body says, well, I'm trying to fight off, keep up with the diabetes. Now you want me to fight off this flu? I can't do it. I don't know. This was a tough one, guys. We've never experienced anything like this, have we? I mean, it's been really something else. Let me see here. Guys, I'm sorry. Scrolling here. My chat jumps around a little bit. Okay, Joyce says she looked up the Les Pouches website. They're listed there. The Les Pouches brushes are great. The Les Pouches brushes were first before Activate brushes. I was using the Les Pouches brushes long before Activate started their thing. So, and I do like the Activate brushes too, because there for a while, Les Pouches wasn't making brushes for about 3 years. And so that's when I found the Activate, and I was like, well, I really like these. And they were priced the same, but they were good. Sue says, hubby, we can't learn anything when you're in there looking at what? We can't learn anything when you're in them for looking at you. Yeah, my hubby's a looker. My pug's, Chris says, my pug's butt smells. Groomer expresses his anals. No idea where to start. Well, okay. Often pugs are a little overweight. They are piggies. They love to eat. Oftentimes dogs that are overweight kind of express their anal glands when they bark and stuff like that, because they're putting more pressure on them, and that's why that happens. So I'm just guessing maybe he might be a little overweight, Chrissy, and try to get him to lose a few pounds. Watch the diet, cut out the treats. They don't need treats, honestly. I had a pug too. I loved him, and he loved to eat. All right. I think that would probably be the thing. If you really want to know how to express his anal glands, honey, I know there's videos out there, but I don't advise it. I think that's something that the vets should take care of if the dogs are having anal gland problems. I honestly do. What's Nicole say? If you can get it, Autoban is my favorite disinfectant. It's non-corrosive. It's non-corrosive, like I can't even talk. Like bleach, but it's extremely effective and pet safe. So that's a disinfectant for your tools. Autoban. That's from Nicole. If you guys are interested in anything like that. Where am I located? Sue says. I am in Pennsylvania, central Pennsylvania. Yes, ma'am. All right, let's see here if anybody has any other feelings about the groomers being shut down. Life with me. Nicole says, my mentor called a 7 skip tooth the butcher's blade. I agree, Nicole. I don't even know why they make them. They are dangerous. I want nothing to do with them. I bought them before and I used them a couple times, and I would feel it on myself and it would poke me. I'm like, no way. How often can I bathe my Yorkie, says Cheryl. I use all of your good products. Wonderful. Well, I would say a Yorkie, brushing your Yorkie daily or maybe 3 times a week is a really good idea. Athens. Sue says you're in Athens. I am near Lebanon, Pennsylvania, Sue. Also near Reading, if you've heard of Reading, and kind of near Lancaster. But Lebanon is my county. That's where I live. What was I talking about? Guys. Gosh. All right. I was talking about something. I'll get it. I'm having so much trouble finding where I was at in the chat. Yeah. Okay. What's the name of your website? My website for my business is the Hairy Hound Canine Clipper. My website is just one that was made in a content management system. It's not that fancy, but it's there. Actually, you can get to my website from my YouTube channel. If you go to Go Groomer to my homepage, there's a link on the right side that says my grooming business link. So you can check it out there. What's the best shampoo and conditioner to use? John, you know I have so many favorites. Oh my goodness, best shampoo, and I can't say there's a best. There's so many. There's so many that are the best in my opinion. As a professional pet groomer, I try to use ones that are affordable and effective. So meaning they do a good job, but they don't rack up the price of the groom, because I love to use Les Pouches shampoos and conditioners. They are phenomenal. Smell amazing, but they are very expensive, and I cannot use that on all my pet clients, or I would have to charge for it, and people want something that they can afford. You know, pet grooming is already a little pricey because there's a lot of work involved. So I'd say Les Pouches makes several of my favorites. Nature's Specialty has a couple of my very favorites. I love their Plum Silky, and I really love Nature's Specialty Sun Guard Conditioner. It's wonderful. That's one of my favorites. Oh God, the chat is bouncy. Okay, I'm having trouble keeping it where I want it to be. Kevin Lockamy says, a good detergent for combs, brushes, etc. is Ship Shape. You can get it on Amazon or any beautician supply store. Ship Shape. So guys, you want to take a look at that too if you're interested in finding out something that disinfects your combs and your brushes. Go check that out on Amazon. Thank you for the tip, Kevin, because we love sharing. That's what we do here. We share all our tips. Jacqueline says, my Havanese has a very thick curly coat. I bought a number 3 to do his body with the Wall KM10. Would a number 4 go through his coat better? Yes. If you're having trouble getting the 3 through it, a number 4 will go through it a little better because it's a tiny bit shorter. If the number 4 doesn't go through so well, a number 5 probably would. But don't forget, Jacqueline, you have to have that coat properly brushed out, bathed, and dried, and brushed again. And you should be able to get through it with any blade that you want. So the key is coat prep before you clip. And if you're having trouble with that, you know, shy of just doing a clip down with the number 5 or 7 blade, you're gonna have to really do a good job of brushing the whole entire coat and conditioning and brushing and drying, you know, making sure you have the coat prepped so nicely. Daphne says, thank you so much. He trusts his groomer. He's been going there since he was a baby. Oh, that's awesome. And that's the way it should be. Build that relationship with your groomer and your dog, because your dog really bonds with their groomer and they feel more safe with somebody they trust. There's no doubt about that. She is so good. He has no fear at all or anything. Oh, that's wonderful. He's 3.5 years old. Oh, that's what I love to hear. Groomers and the bonding with the dogs that they groom. Denise says, my groomer told me to use a 40 blade to clip between the dog's eyes. Oh God, no. Shih Tzu. Okay, I used a 10. Was that correct in using a 10? Yes, Denise, that was correct. A 40 blade is so short, and if you're not very comfortable with using a clipper and knowing how much pressure you can and can't apply before you irritate the skin, a number 40 blade is not the blade to go at that with, because there is no length, and this is a tender area. 7 blade is, or I'm sorry, never a 7 on the eyes. A 10 blade is very safe. So if you used a 10, good, Denise, that's what I want you to use. You're going to have better luck, and it's safer. Diane said, I was told to never brush a dry coat. Always use a conditioning spray, then brush. Agree? Well, are you showing your dog? Because show breeders will tell you one thing, especially if they're show breeders. They will tell you, don't ever do this, don't ever do that. You could break the coat. You could do this. Okay, well, if we're not showing, we're not really worried about breaking a few hairs. Not a problem. I break my hairs when I brush it out. That's why it always looks so... No, that's typical to break hairs. You will break hairs when you're dry brushing. That's why I like to brush them when they're wet, after they get out of the tub and they're clean and they've been conditioned. I towel them off with the absorber towel because it pulls all that moisture out of them. And while they're damp now, I start slicker brushing them gently. Don't forget their skin is soft because it's moist. They were just in the tub. So just like when we're in the tub, our skin gets pruny and soft, more vulnerable. So does theirs. So if you're slicker brushing, you have to be mindful of their skin and the fact that it's soft right now. But the skin, or the coat has more elasticity in it when it's wet. So I suggest to do it when it's wet, but then I always brush them when they're dry too. After I've dried them, I always brush them again before I clip them. So that's a matter of who you know, Diane, and what they tell you. Because, I mean, if you're showing a dog, yeah, you have a different set of rules, because the judge is going to notice any flaw that you did to the coat, you know, and that's not going to be good in your favor. Hi, Debbie. Debbie Fabish won the Prima Encore bathing system. They're getting it ready for you and Benny, Debbie. No worries. I talked to Heidi today. I gave her your address. We took care of the payment and everything over the phone. But they're getting everything ready for you to have it in New Zealand, because you have some special electrical, you know, things that are different than here in the U.S. But they got it at Prima. They got you covered. I'm so happy for you, Debbie. I can't wait. And Debbie, she's beginning to groom. It's just perfect that you got it. Don't forget, guys, I'm going to be giving away more Prima Encore models. Just stick around. I love it. I love giving you guys amazing things like that. And if these clippers ever come back on the market, those will start to be part of our giveaways too, because I love that clipper. But I should have bought stock in it before the coronavirus, because there are none. Nobody can buy one now. Jamie says, hi, Amy. I groom our own dogs, my mom's Yorkie and my new standard poodle. I love standard poodles. Is it safe to shave a poodle's hair for summer? Absolutely, a poodle's hair can be shaved. I don't go any shorter than a 7 blade. If it's a young poodle, I may want to go at least with a 5 blade. That's a little longer than a 7, because even a young poodle, they have soft skin at the time, you know. But yes, most people go short with their poodles in the summer because it's such a high maintenance coat and it grows back so quickly. So by the time fall starts rolling around, then you can start going with a little bit more length on your poodle, you know. No problem. I would do a 5 or a 7 blade on that, Jamie. Okay. All right. Activette is on Amazon. Short delivery. Yeah, you really got to look around, guys. What? I'm glad you didn't die, Mary. What happened to Mary? Mary? Oh, you better maybe send me a message. Is something wrong? Did you wreck on your bike? Oh, you're a crazy girl, Mary. Okay, Lee says, I got new clippers on a number 7 blade. How do you keep from cutting them? I have 6 King Charles Cavaliers. Okay, cutting with the lay of the coat, the way the coat grows. That's one way to keep from cutting them. I have several videos that show you full grooms. I have one that was a Goldendoodle, steps to grooming a dog. I forget what it was, Goldendoodle summer trim or whatever. But that shows you how I do a clip down, kind of the length that you're talking about doing right now. That would help you. There are certain areas to be aware of and to avoid, like the flank area, which is in their tuck up area, their hock area. The earlobes are easy to nick. So there's certain things that you have to. Oh my God, Mary said she about died from the flu 2 weeks ago. Oh my gosh, Mary. Well, I didn't know you were so sick, honey. Jeez, I'm so glad you're better, Mary. I know your mom and dad just moved in with you, so that must have been scary. You're probably afraid of them getting sick. Wow. Debbie, you are so welcome. Debbie says she's so happy to get that on. I can't wait, Debbie. We're going to have to chit chat. You're going to have to we're going to have to FaceTime. You're going to have to show me you using it or something. Oh, 2 years ago. Okay, I got you. Whew. I was going to say, Mary, you're scaring me. Yeah, the flu is bad news. By the way, Denise says, by the way, I've been following you for a while and love your videos. You are so informative. I am so glad to hear that, Denise, because that's what I want to do. I want to help. Definitely. We have to get her new glasses. I know, I probably do have to upgrade them. The chat is so little. Now, did I miss anybody's questions? Nicole has a standard poodle, Life with Nicole. She says her standard poodle's name is Winter. She says, I just took her down for the summer with a 7 blade. Absolutely. That's the easiest thing to do, and it's comforting to them, but they grow so fast. Poodles are thick, and they grow so fast, and they feel like new babies when you clip them in the summer, because they do like to be active too. You know, they're very fun dogs. Andrew says, I bathe my toy and standard poodle every 4 to 5 weeks, and then I brush them out completely every 2 days. Yeah, absolutely. That sounds like a great maintenance plan. Absolutely. With the leave-in coat spray such as Quicker Slicker. That's how I would maintain a coat too, a dog that had some coat. Andrew is definitely for, even Gus, I like to bathe him at least every 4 weeks, at least. I usually go 3 weeks if he has more coat. It just keeps him in better shape. Hi, Faith. Faith says, what is the difference between an undercoat and the double coat? The undercoat is part of the double coat, Faith. Remember we talked about a double coat. Double means 2. So what is the double coat? A double coat is the undercoat, and a double coat is also the top coat that goes over the protects the undercoat. Okay, so that's that. It's not like the undercoat is part of the double coat. That's it. Top coat, undercoat makes a double coat. Good question. I love it when you guys ask questions because it probably always answers a question somebody else may be having too. Diane says, I just adopted 3 old Catons who have been shaved. Well, that happens. They mat up if they're not cared for. I want to grow her out. Oh, a 3-year-old Caton. Gotcha. Any suggestions? Recommendation, a video? For Caton, growing them out is just honestly good brushing and bathing maintenance schedule. Like Andrew just said, he has his standard poodle on a maintenance schedule. He bathes it every 4 to 5 weeks and he brushes it every 2 days. And he probably trims them every 6 weeks. So trimming is still important. Even if you want to grow it out, who was that? Diane. Even if you want to grow out your Catan's coat, you still need to trim around the sanitary areas, the pads of feet, to keep them clean and stuff. And if you can't, groomers can do that. You could also get them on a schedule with a groomer if you're growing, if you want a full coat, for like every 4 weeks, and keep that dog in good shape, as long as you're willing to do a lot of the brushing at home in between. You gotta brush, guys. Just remember it like this. I think about this sometimes when I'm getting out of the shower and I'm brushing my hair and I'm thinking, and I'm getting ready to go to work, and I'm like, I still don't understand. I have so many clients that come in, and maybe the dog was, on a 6-week schedule, and the dog hadn't even seen a brush to his coat in 6 weeks. And I think about it and I go, I just don't understand why anybody wouldn't think that they would need to brush the dead hair out of the coat. I don't even understand why that's so hard to understand. But some people don't think they need to do any grooming until they bring their dog to the groomer every 6 weeks. I'm confused. That's the kind of stuff we talk about here, so we bring light to all those things, right? All right. I will share the site everywhere. Thank you so much for all your wisdom. You are welcome, Daphne. Thank you for being here with us. I'm so happy. Carrie says, would Quicker Slicker work on a Maltese tail? Absolutely. My male hates to have his tail brushed. I bet. I know a lot of small dogs do. You just have to remember, you're not fighting with him over it. You're trying to call it truce. So he'll let you do it, and you can do it too, right? So find a way to reason with him and keep him calm and brush it. Maybe if you're not actually like getting in there and actually making a difference, but you are actually touching his tail with a brush. If that's what it takes, a little bit to get him comfortable, then start there. And tomorrow, do the same thing. Oh, that's a good boy. I'm touching your tail with a brush, but I'm really not brushing anything. That's such a good boy. And then he'll be like, wow, this isn't so bad. And slowly just get to where you are doing more of a brush out with the tail. Maybe that would help. I'm hoping. Jamie says, okay, thank you. I always have a no or yes. I did a 1/4 inch and didn't do that well. Wait a minute. So you should see her now. I'll try again with a 1/4 inch. A snap-on comb, I think you're talking about. 1/4 inch is nice to maintain. I mean, that's not a lot of coat. Andrew says, yes, trim it. What are you talking about? I am currently growing her out as standard. The standard is going through her coat changes. I believe that. And she's all over at the moment. So short and trimmed keeps her looking smart. Yeah, I bet. So short, yes. And tried. So short and tried keeps her looking smart. All right, I think I know what you mean, Andrew. You're talking about your standard and the shorter trim. Let's see. Barbara says I have a Yorkie and a Lhasa mix. When you pluck the inside of their ears, does it hurt them? No, as long as you're plucking only the hair inside of the canal, inside, not on the earlobe, and you're taking very small amounts at a time. And you're getting a hold of it in the canal, not like out here and pulling. You want to get down close in the canal and slowly remove it. It will come right out. It really will. Raquel, Furminator damages the coat. You betcha. I feel like it does too. That's from Lizia. Says, is Quicker Slicker and Furminator on a Westie good? Quicker Slicker, you might be talking about the Furminator shampoo and conditioner. If so, yes, I do like the Furminator shampoo and conditioner. I do think it's a little overpriced. I have other products that I like that are cheaper that I like just as well. But yes, Quicker Slicker will help you brush out a Westie. You will get a lot of dead coat out of a Westie because they have that hard wire coat, and you do want to remove as much of that dead coat with brushing, and it'll come out if it's ready to. No, Barbara, plucking the inside of your dog's ears is nothing like plucking your eyebrows. Trust me. No, I mean, think about it. If you plucked hair off of your dog's face, that's going to hurt. In here, this is just, it's not rooted deep. because it's the skin in there is different. It's weird that dogs grow hair inside of their ears, but they do. But no, it does not hurt. It really doesn't. You got to believe me. It's nothing like plucking our eyebrows. Trust me. Some dogs seem to enjoy when I pluck. Like they just go, oh. You can tell they enjoy it. It feels good. It feels good. Yes, Raquel says, my dog absolutely loves his ears plucked. So does mine. My dog loves it when I do anything in there. It feels good. Janice says, I just ordered my wall KM10 and delivered from Whitman's. I spoke to Ralph. He was awesome. That was his number. They were wonderful to speak with. They have stock of the wall KM10. What? Okay, I'm going to take a screenshot of that. If they do, I want one. I need one, and I'll cancel my order from. Thank you for that, Janice. Thank you so much. I'll cancel my order on Amazon because I want that clipper. Karen says my wall snap-on kit didn't have a number 7. No, it doesn't, honey. Your wall comes with a 10 blade. You would have to purchase a 7 separately. And the snap-on combs don't come with a blade. They're just the snap-on combs. And they suggest you use it over a 10, 15, or 30 blade. Okay? So Karen says it didn't come with a 7. So I used a 5. How short should I trim a Bichon? Do you have a proper way to groom it? Yeah, there is a proper way to groom a Bichon. But a 5 blade is short. That's pretty short for a Bichon because they do have fair skin. I don't really like to go that short on a Bichon. But I thought you said you had got snap-on combs. You would be better off to use the snap-on combs, Karen. If you could leave length, that would be much better. 5 is short, and they have very fair skin. They can get sunburn. I don't like to go that short on a Bichon. Andrew says, Amy, have you tried Hydra products? Yes, grooming products. I have. I just tried them and fell in love with them. And they smell amazing. I agree. They smell super duper awesome. I do like it. I bought a kind of an intro pack when I was at Groom Expo in September of the Hydro, a couple of their shampoos, of their dematting finishing spray. I like that too. I do like that. I'm not sure if I like it more in a quicker slicker, but I think it works pretty good and it doesn't seem to build up in the coat. That's one thing that I always look for in a product, is I don't want my products to build up in the coat, because that's just going to collect debris and dirt. We don't want that. So I do like them, Andrew. I do, and they're affordable. I think Hydra products are nice. Grooms by Janine highly recommends them. She talks about them a lot on her channel, so she might be able to give anybody more information if they're looking for that on the Hydra products. But I do agree, I like them. There's any more questions here? Janice, that's the price, $199. That's the going price. I mean, that's, yeah, I gotta call them. Thank you so much for posting that, because I just ordered one the other day when my wires were getting loose in my other one, and I knew I was going to be out of luck. And so I just saw one site on Amazon that said we should have them back in stock May 13th. I don't know if they will or not, but I'm going to call them. Thank you for that very much so. Lesia says, I missed what you said about the Furminator tool. Oh, the tool. Okay, if you're using the tool, I don't care for that. I feel like it definitely kind of pulls out too much good coat. That's my opinion. When the tool came out on the market, I bought one. I have one. It's here. I do have a few uses for them. I like to use them on beagles in a carding action. And that would be okay for a Westie, down the pattern of a Westie. If your Westie was clipped down the back, then to kind of card through it with a Furminator, that would be okay. But if you're not familiar with carding techniques, then don't attempt it. Some people think that the Furminator is safe and easy to use on all double coats or any coat that's going to shed. It can rip out way too much. It can actually irritate the skin too. I'm not a fan of the Furminator tool, that's all. And that's my opinion, and I want to tell you guys the truth. There may be other people that tell you they love them. Diane says, have you ever tried the Chris Christensen wood pen brush? No, I haven't. Or her buttercombs. I want to try the buttercombs. I feel like they're overpriced. And I don't think that's fair. I hate when certain companies think that they're so high up that they have to charge an arm and a leg for something that I know they're making like 600% profit because they think they're all that. I mean, I don't understand. If I can find products that will do just as good a job, then I will do that. That's what I will do. I don't need to say this is a buttercomb from Chris Christensen, you know, and I would love to try one, but I feel like they're overpriced. I really do. They go through the hair like butter. I really want, I'm going to try it. I'm going to talk to my next time I go to the show, which is going to be in September. I'm definitely going to be talking about brushes and combs specifically with a lot of different vendors, and hopefully bringing some information back to you guys. I find the Furminator pulls way too much. Me too, Andrew. Yes, I prefer a Coat King. That's what I prefer too. And even a Coat King can pull coat. You know, that can pull good coat too, but I just feel like you can be a little more forgiving and try not to force it out. I always tell you guys, if you're forcing it, you don't want to do that. If it wants to come out, it will. If it doesn't, leave it alone. Okay? Because you don't want to do anything wrong. I've never used the wooden pen brush. I'm not sure that I feel like it would, if I was showing a dog, I would consider it, or if I was grooming show dogs, and I'm not. I don't groom any show dogs. Then I would need something like that, a pen brush that would be very, very gentle and not likely to break the coat, because that is one thing that they worry about often with your show coats, is that your coat is as healthy as it possibly could be, you know. So I haven't had a need for to use a wooden pen brush because of the type of dogs that I groom in here. You know, slicker brushes are fine, and if they do have, like today I groomed a beautiful Frank's silky long coated Yorkie. She was gorgeous. Just gently slicker brushing was fine. I wasn't breaking the coat, you know, but I wasn't being aggressive either. You know, you can get aggressive with a brush, you just don't need to. So I have really enjoyed hanging out with you guys tonight, and we have been together here for almost an hour and a half. So I am going to make you save your questions up for next week. I do want to tell you, I'm working on a couple videos, and I'm working on a really good demo for the Prima Encore unit too that Prima sent me. I've been using it for 2 weeks. I'm learning a whole lot about it. I am seeing that it's neck and neck with the Salon model. They both have their advantages. Neither one of them, in my opinion, has a disadvantage. So I can't wait to share that with you guys. But I'm also getting ready to release a video, I hope, in the next few days on how to shorten the ears and the tail on your dog. That is one that a lot of people have been wanting to know. The ears and the tail. So I'm hoping to give that to you soon. Thank you, Joyce. You too, honey. Gus is good, Maria. He's laying here sleeping right now. He's tired. He worked hard today. But I got some good stuff coming for you guys. I appreciate you guys watching all the videos. Carol says, Amy, do you have severe dogs to groom? Matted dogs because of the COVID right now? Not really. No, I have groomed severely matted dogs. Many, many, many. I don't like it. It's sad. I don't like it at all. But I love freeing them of the mats. Right now, I haven't seen severely matted dogs. I see a lot of overgrown coats. And I expected to see that. But that's okay. We get through it. So I will see you guys soon with another video. Thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for enjoying them. Thank you for supporting the channel. And thank you for just being better together here live from the grooming table, like we are, sharing all of our secrets and sharing all of our tips and just sharing the love. Because we have a lot of love. And we feel it, don't we? I will see you guys next Monday. I have a subscriber showdown for you. I love you all, every single one of you. I will talk to you Monday and have a video for you later this week. So here's your subscriber showdown. You all keep being wonderful and awesome. I will talk to you soon. Pow!